Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to do my top 10 television series of the year of 2013. Just so you guys know, any television series is eligible as long as it came out before the date of December 15th of 2013. Whether it's an old series, whether it's a new series, whether it's brand new, or as I said, old in its third, fourth, or even eighth or ninth season. As long as it came out before December 15th of 2013, once again, it is eligible. Before I start, I just want to say that 2013 has been a great year for television, if not the best year ever in television, in my opinion. There has been a lot of good series. I've probably watched over 60, 70, television series, if not more. I've probably watched almost 100, believe it or not. I've tried to watch all the television I can, whether it's good, whether it's amazing, even if it's a mediocre show. I try to watch at least the whole first season, just so I can get a good vibe of it. There's been some pilots I've watched where I've only watched the pilot and then I stopped watching because it was a decent show, because it was just, an okay pilot. Shows such as a TNT show by the name of King and Maxwell, a Lifetime show by the name of Devious Maids. Those are shows that I only watched the pilot and then stopped watching. But most shows I've started this year, I've at least seen the entire first season. As goes with the entire case of the series I have before me on my, little handy dandy notebook here. So first up, before I actually do my top 10, the way I do it is I don't actually have an order top 10. The way I did it last year is I have a top 10, but they're not in order. They're in a random order. They're not really in, from 10 to 1. That's not the way I do things. That's too hard and too tedious to do that. So I just throw out there a top 10 series, and you can put them in whatever order you want to. But first up, what I like to call, and what most people probably would consider, my honorable mentions. And these are TV series that were grand, they were spectacular in every way, but just not quite good enough to be on my top 10 list. And our first honorable mention show is a show by the name of Revolution. I started watching Revolution on its first season. I loved the first season. The second season, yes, it was a little slower, but it was still a great season with great character interactions. And I won't spoil it for you guys, for those of you who haven't watched it. You find out some big major plot points, and it develops in a great way, focusing mainly on our Aaron character. And I like that it was slower. It gave you more time to marinate in those details like a sponge, let that stuff soak into your mind. And I like that it was kind of a slower pace, but our first season is big action, and the second season, feels more focused. It knows what it is now, and it's just kind of having fun with the series now by taking it in a slower way. Revolution was a great show, definitely worth an honorable mention. I'm great to see what it's going to do next year. Low Winter Sun was actually a canceled television series. It was actually on the AMC channel, starring actors with the name of Lenny James and Mark Strong. I loved the show, loved the concept, loved how it was a dark, deceptive kind of show. Don't understand why it was canceled. I mean, I know why, the ratings, but I didn't mind it being too dark, and overall, I really enjoyed Low Winter Sun. It was just a really cool show that it feels hard to live without, but not much you can do. It just had a really nice concept to it that I really missed, ended with a cliffhanger, as most TV shows always do, but not always. Under the Dome is another honorable mention of mine by the creator of Stephen King, who wrote the book. I loved Under the Dome. I loved the concept of this city living in this dome. Some great characters, great writing, the great mystery behind the dome. I've reviewed several of the episodes. I don't know if I don't remember if I reviewed the first season, but I did review several of the episodes, including the pilot. So if you're curious to check out my full opinion, check those out. But Under the Dome was a great first season. Bates Motel, I love that. That was another great honorable mention show, on the A&E channel, I believe. Once again, Vera Farmiga and Freddie Highmore, who play the two main actors, actor and actress in it. That show, the great thing about that is a lot of shows have hard time with character development, and they're very plot driven. This one does both. It's mainly a character driven show where the characters are fleshed out in a great way, and that's why I kept watching, because these characters are great. Vera Farmiga was definitely my favorite. I just love the concept. Obviously, sort of a modern day prequel to the Psycho movie back in the day. The Blacklist was an NBC show that actually just aired a few months ago, with starring James Spader, a sort of cop procedural, but so much more than that. But that's at its basis, it's a cop procedural that has sort of an underlining plot element to it that I won't say because I don't want to spoil it. But I really enjoyed James Spader. I enjoyed the main actress too, and her husband. Those are probably my three favorite characters. I really enjoyed the show. It has a nice kind of procedural kind of fling to it, but it has that real nice underlining element. That's definitely the best aspect of the show. Definitely another honorable mention of mine that I couldn't live without. Another great show that I liked was a show by the name of GRACELAND on the USA channel. This is once again is sort of a police procedural, but I will say the underlining element for GRACELAND is probably more than the Blacklist element. The Blacklist element comes in every now and then, but GRACELAND, the first episode was decent. There's an underlining element that gets introduced at the end that I won't say, and then it develops into that, and then about 5 or 6 episodes in, it introduces this big twist, and it kind of stays on that element, throughout the entire series. A little more so than Blacklist. Overall, I think I enjoyed both about the same. Maybe Graceland's plot just a tad more, but Blacklist actors, if I was to compare the two. But overall, another honorable mention. Another honorable mention of mine, quite a few actually, is a BBC America show by the name of In the Flesh. It was sort of a zombie. Sort of zombies go to rehab sort of show. They try to come back into society and teach them how to be a human. Really enjoyed that one. This show was kind of different by the name of Siberia. It was almost a reality, scripted TV series kind of thing, where part of it was, from what I understand, some of it wasn't staged, like some of the reactions, weren't, and then others were. So from what I understand, I'm not really for sure how that worked there. But either way, the first season of Siberia turned out to be great. From what I understand, there are hopes of being a second season. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but there are high hopes, and most likely there probably will be a second season because overall the ratings weren't amazing, but they really weren't terrible either. So overall, I really enjoyed that and hope it gets a second season. Full Circle was actually a DirecTV original program on the Audience channel, channels 101 and 239, I believe, and I really enjoyed that. Dialogue-driven series that I really enjoyed. Some of the best dialogue I've ever seen in a scripted television series. The Fosters was an ABC family show that I really enjoyed. A nice, great, different concept about a lesbian couple taking care of a bilingual and adopted family. Some of the kids are different races, and a few of them are adopted. Twisted was also an ABC family show that I really liked about a kid who murdered his aunt, tries to come back into society, come back into high school, and has to live with the peer pressure and the pressures of that, trying to be friends again with the friends, after knowing what he did while he was in juvenile hall. And overall, all those are my honorable mentions. So once again, thanks for sticking out this good chunk of the video. I know it's kind of a long video. Once again, thanks for doing that. So now that my honorable mentions are up, let's actually talk about my top 10 favorite television series. It's actually top 11, but this is the stuff that I really enjoyed. So let's get to it, shall we? Once again, my top 10 television series.